I would say probably my first album that I wasn't supposed to have was The Chronic. And I remember my mom telling
Okay.
me, she was like, you can't listen to this unless you listen to it with your sister. And I was like, I thought my sister was lame, so I never ended up really listening to it the way that I wanted to. I would like wait till they were asleep, turn it down really low. But then, things sort of evolved too. Like I became a big Nirvana fan. I started getting to like Soundgarden, Stone
Okay.
Temple Pilots, all these alternative groups, like I guess the emo stuff that some of the younger people were getting swept up in. And then honestly, it came back to hip hop. And it's funny too, because there's something that always stands out to me is when I see like early hip hop footage of like the videos I saw. I remember being little, my sister walked in on me imitating like I was like scratching records. I always thought that was so fascinating to me just because it was like I understood that there was a synergy between the dance floor and what was going on back there. Like there was something special that was happening there. Fast forward, staying into hip hop, I used to go to Salvation Army a lot, just buying whatever records I could find. I remember going to the Salvation Army in Jersey City once, and I found this insane hip hop collection, probably about close to 200 records.
Okay.
KRS One, Nas,
Man,
Big Daddy Kane, Biggie, like it was a gold mine.
who
And they were
leaked those
selling,
records?
they started giving me records for free. I probably bought that collection for about like $70. It was some crazy thing because
Okay.
they said that somebody had bought it in and just it never went anywhere.
That's nuts.
It's insane.
I would keep those records even if I didn't have a record player. Like I would like, what? Are you sick?
I mean, so I was lucky enough that I had a friend. He produced for this Newark-based hip hop group. I don't know if you're familiar with a group called the Artifacts. They have a
Yeah,
song called "The Wrong Side of the
yeah,
Track."
yeah.
So he produced for El Sensei, and he worked with DJ Chaos,
Okay.
and we're sort of just like hanging out with him, like learning what he used to do. We used to just go into random stores and just like Chinese restaurants and be like, "Do you guys have records?" And I would say maybe like most I could say is no, right? Probably like three times out of maybe seven, they'd have like a basement full of records they had no idea that were down there because it was just storage to them. They purchased this building to start a restaurant, and then whatever was in there, they just threw downstairs. Like I remember once we got like this Latin collection, basically asking them and paying them like $50, and it was probably like 50, 60 records.
Well,
So there was always the obsession with like trying to find records. And then I think as I got older, the more I learned about producers, the more I learned about guys like Pete Rock, DJ Premier, I kind of wanted to get into the production aspect, which is great because I already had records waiting for me.
right. Okay.
It was just a matter of like, okay, now how do they do this? Again, luckily I had somebody that showed me, I would say probably around the age of like 16 going to 17. I had some friends that introduced me to like computer software, Cool Edit, Reason, and things like that. So we would take these like really crappy belt drive turntables, hook
Okay.
them up to our TV, from
Okay.
the TV, use the outs and plug it into like a crappy sound card
Okay.
and sample into these programs. And I mean, now you have so much, time as far as like sampling and things like that. So we would just get like the little chunks of the records that we wanted and just have
Okay.
like unorganized mess of things. I remember, spending like 1 or 2 days just getting samples and then not knowing what they were. So it's like, I don't know if I got drums. I don't know if I got vocals.
I'm
I was
just
just going through it like piece by piece. And I would show these sort of lack thereof beats to some of these, like, meeting more and more people within that circle of like Elder Sensei and things like that. And eventually I learned they're using samplers.
If you're enjoying the content you're watching right now and you want to level up and create vibes at all the events you DJ at, well, make sure you subscribe to us right